I lost everything, even after 26 years of loving the way we're told to. At 55, I lost Adele, my soulmate, and afterward, the air felt empty. I'm 61 now, and here's the truth. Everything we were taught about love might be wrong. What if love's biggest lessons only come after the person is gone? This is Reframing Life, stories of love, loss, and what it means to be human. I'm Kent. If you're new here, this is episode 6 of my soulmate named Adele, a 20-part journey through finding love online, losing everything, and discovering what it really means to live with an open heart. Some relationships teach you lessons, others reshape your world. Loving Adele did both. Today, I want to share how two people can grow not just with each other, but because of each other, quietly, steadily, in ways you never quite realize until silence is all that remains. This chapter is called What We Only Learn About Love After They're Gone. Growing together through presence, not perfection. Because what Adele and I discovered was this: the most profound growth doesn't arrive at fireworks. It comes in the stillness, in presence, in choosing not to turn away, even when turning away feels easier. Let's begin. One of the things that made our love feel like home was that we treated learning as a form of loving. And I don't mean the early days trading favorite songs, funny stories. Everyone does that. I mean years in, when you're both tired, when the world's throwing real things at you. We learned how the other processed fear, how disappointment echoed, how silence landed, how laughter healed. And we didn't treat differences as warnings. We saw them as invitations. There was one evening we were both worn out, the kind of day where your soul feels thin. Adele went quiet, not the kind of quiet that says, I'm upset with you, but the kind that says, I'm carrying something and I don't know how to put it down yet. My instinct? Fix it. Ask questions. Fill the silence. But I'd been watching her. I knew by then sometimes her quiet wasn't distance. It was processing. So I didn't fill the space. I just sat beside her, took her hand, and let the silence stretch. Not as something to break, but as something sacred. Later, she told me that moment changed something for her, that she learned she didn't have to perform to be loved, that presence didn't come with expectations. And I learned something too, that love isn't about solving, it's about seeing. Without ever saying it, we made a quiet commitment to be here, not performatively, not let's post this presence, but actual soul deep presence. We filled our days with ordinary riches, like a trip to the grocery store, where we once spent 20 minutes laughing in the vegetable section because we started making up stories of everybody that we saw around us. Or a Sunday morning coffee brewing, nothing important being said, but somehow it felt like everything. Those were the riches, moments you can't deposit in a bank, but you carry them always. We never assumed presence was guaranteed, and that made gratitude feel automatic. That was our rhythm. We paid attention to each other, to the life blooming quietly between us. We had another agreement. We never raised our voices, not because we didn't disagree, but because winning was never the point. I remember one time a money issue. Stress was high. I felt my voice climbing, and Adele just looked at me. No judgment, just, are we still on the same team? That look asked everything. So I took a breath, lowered my tone. We started again. That happened a lot. Tiny course corrections that kept us close. And then there were the ER Valentine's days. Twice we spent the night under fluorescent lights, holding the hands of family who needed us. No candles, no fancy reservations, but those nights were some of the most aligned moments of our lives. Because love isn't what you do when things are perfect. It's what you bring into the mess, the uncertain, the unplanned. That's where love really reveals itself. At some point, we left our corporate jobs and built a business together. Not out of necessity, out of values, time, freedom, the ability to design a life with intention. It was challenging. We didn't always agree, but we trained for that. There was one project. We saw it so differently. Old versions of us might have argued, but we paused. We asked, what are you seeing that I'm not? That one question softened everything. And that's when we realized growth isn't always more. It's closer to the life you want, to the person, to the love, to the version of yourself that feels real. When I look back now, what Adele and I learned from each other wasn't about tools or tactics. It was a way of being, that love grows through attention, that presence compounds, that the small moments are the whole thing, that laughter is holy, that kindness is an anchor, that truly shared time is one of the greatest forms of wealth. We didn't grow together because life was easy. We grew because we stayed curious, because we kept choosing each other in the soft daily moments. And now, even in our absence, that presence remains. If any part of our story reminded you of someone you've loved or someone you've lost, I hope you carry one small thing into your life today. Maybe it's a deeper pause, a moment of quiet attention, one laugh you notice on purpose. And if you want to keep walking through this journey with me, subscribe. Stay with my soulmate named Adele. Next time, I tell you more about the one unthinkable thing most couples tell me they could never do: work together. Thank you for spending this time with me. Wherever you are, may you find the quiet kind of richness in the life you're already living.